Tracy Randall with Generational Health, and I'm so excited tonight to have the pleasure of talking tonight to Bob Wright, the founder of the American Anti-Cancer Institute. Welcome to today's show, Bob.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm delighted to be here.
I know you are, and we're excited to have you here because what we wanted to do tonight was something really simple. We all know that you've written an incredible book that's been out for quite some time now. Maybe you can let the listening audience know your book, Killing Cancer, Not People. And what we would love for you to do tonight, Bob, is just share with the listening audience why you believe that every home should have a copy of Killing Cancer, Not People.
Well, that's an interesting question. And of course, I wrote this book, the first edition, several years ago, many years ago now, 7 years ago or so, 7 or 8. And then revised it with a second edition, and then ultimately came out with the third edition, which is the most complete to date. Every time you update, you have to change a few things, of course, because technology is always advancing. And that's what we've done. Added 2 new chapters in the new third edition of the book, and just updated it in every way. Now, many people are going to think that this book is just about cancer, and they'll pass it by without thinking that, you know, what brings healing to the human immune system, which actually is the only thing that heals cancer, is going to work for you in many other instances, actually in your whole life, because we talk about prevention. Prevention is a real cure. If you don't get it, then that's the cure. And so we're concerned about prevention and education. Our goal is to educate people. And because when you have more information, you make wiser decisions. It's still your decision to make, but you will make a wiser decision. And ultimately, we talk about how this relates to cancer. And so the book has a specific title, as you just showed everyone, but people need to realize that this covers the gamut. If you've got autoimmune disease, if you've got a neurodegenerative disease like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, if you've got heart disease or certain heart problems, it really goes across the board to cover everything. So I don't want people to read into this that it's just a cancer book, but it is a book on health and healing, I guess we could say, and prevention. So we need to understand that. And I wrote this book to be more like a novel, because people will read novels right and left, but if you get a big, thick cancer book, and this isn't too big or too thick, then people will hesitate a little bit. And so I did it in simple form, so all of us could understand it, and all of us could read it and know what we're reading, not just read something that's 700 or 800 pages and then wonder what to do next. Right. Now, this book really tells you what to do next. And so that's why I wrote it the way that I did. And we've heard from a lot of people that are very satisfied with what they see.
Absolutely, Bob. And, you know, I was just on your Facebook page, the American Anti-Cancer Institute page, earlier this week, and there was a testimony of someone that put on one of our posts that reading that book completely changed his life, the life of his family. And, you know, and we know that we're not making any claims to cure or heal anything. The human immune system is key, but you just lay it out there. And another thing I love about what you do, Bob, is that you tell the truth about what's going on in, you know, the conventional world. You want to share just a little bit about that? We are talking about killing cancer, not people.
Well, we all really want to know the truth. Sometimes we shy away from it a little bit. Sometimes it hurts. But in the final analysis, we really want to know the truth. Again, that's one of those things that helps us make wise decisions. We can still always go the wrong way, but we will know the truth. And it's important to note that this isn't just my truth, because
little delay on Bob's end. He'll come back.
Everyone can have their own truth, but it doesn't make it the truth. And so we try and divide that in this book. We try and go after the research and the real science so we can lay it out in front of people. This is the truth, whether you choose to believe it or not. And we know that some will not. because it bucks conventional thought and conventional wisdom. And those things are not worth a nickel as far as I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what is the real truth, what helps people. And I want to out those things that don't help people. That's what it's all about. That's what people want. They want the truth so that they can make those decisions.
And Bob, that's what they deserve, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. And so I'm excited about being able to talk to you about the book, as well as we did a incredible health summit here in Atlanta back in April of this year. It was a phenomenal 2-day event with lots of great information. What's the difference between the book and the video that people can purchase, the Get Mad About Cancer Health Summit? What does that bring to the table that maybe, would be different from the book?
Well, we were able to cover a lot more ground. I mean, 2 days, I was pretty tired after 2 days and almost all day, every day, but it was really worth it. We were able to address people's concerns, individual concerns, answer their questions, and get down to the nitty-gritty and the details in many areas that are not necessarily covered in the book. And so you always seem to be able to do more than if you're just writing a 300-page book or so. You have to figure out, what can I put in here and what won't fit, because we don't want to make it too large. So this basically went into the details, and a lot of people got a lot of good information in Atlanta.
They did. And right now we do have both the book as well as the Get Mad About Cancer Health Summit available for purchase. And any time of the year is a great year. People are looking to make some lifestyle changes around the first of the year. We have holidays. There's never a bad time to give the gift of health. So, maybe you already have the book or the health summit. Go ahead and purchase an extra one and have it shipped out to someone you love and care about that needs this information. Bob, I'm excited about some of the upcoming Facebook Live interviews that we've got. We're going to be doing probably one of your chapters that you've really been excited about sharing, the big 3. We'll be doing that in an upcoming video. And I just encourage the listeners to pay attention to the Facebook American Anti-Cancer Institute Facebook page. Be sure and like it so that you'll know and be notified when we're going to go live. But we've been consistent every Monday night here, different times, but check the American Anti-Cancer Institute Facebook page to learn more. One more thing before we close out tonight, Bob. I know that you have a newsletter. Would you share some information about how they can get your newsletter and more about why that's important?
Yeah, it's very simple. Go to our website, americanaci.org. Make sure you get .org and not .com. And then scroll down to the Right Stuff, WRIGHT. And then you just enter your name in there and your email address, and then we'll ship it out to you by email around the 1st of every month. And we try to address new things every single month. There are times when issues are so important that we'll go over them more than once, or we'll hit them again in a newsletter because they're incredibly important. But again, this is an area where we cover a lot of ground that wasn't covered at the summit, perhaps, and not covered in the book. And we all need this new information. I'm constantly researching and looking at the science so that we can disseminate more truth, again, in the newsletter.
I love it. And actually, all 3 resources are available on the getmadaboutcancer.com website. So you can just go right there, get your newsletter, signed up for that. You can purchase the book. You can purchase the summit. We actually have the summit right now on special for half price, just $24.99 for this incredible information that will impact the lives of your family as well as those that you love and care about. So I'm going to invite the listeners to join us again. I see we have a few people listening live, and we so appreciate the support of the AACI and everything that those that are listening in do to help support. And for most of you, many of you who may not know this, but the AACI, and I failed to mention this in the beginning of the quick interview, is a nonprofit. And so, we're proud of that status. So how does a nonprofit create funding? Through the purchase of these resources, right, Bob? So what would you like to do to close out tonight, Bob?
Well, I'd just like to say that one thing that's really important is that we know we're dealing with people every day that don't have a whole lot of resources. That's what we do. That's what makes us, I guess, more special in dealing with these things that we deal with. And so keep in mind, the newsletter is free. It doesn't cost you anything. We do consultations here too for people who need it. They are free. They don't cost you anything. So we're trying to do everything gratis that we possibly can. Of course, the book's going to cost you a few bucks, but you know, keep that in mind, and keep this 501c3 in mind too. I'm not profiting on these books, I can tell you. I've given it to the AACI, and that's a major fundraiser. So the money actually goes to help that next cancer patient and the one after that.
Bob, we so appreciate everything that you do. You work tirelessly, researching products, talking to people about, as you mentioned, new things that are on the horizon, ways that you can continue to help the people that you care about, we care about. So thank you again for tonight's quick interview, just sharing a little information about why these resources are so important. And again, to all of our listeners, we so appreciate your support. Make sure you go to that getmadaboutcancer.com for all of the resources that we've just talked about. And we so appreciate you again, Bob. And we will look forward to our next live interview. And we're going to be talking about some pretty serious things that people need to know about.
Absolutely. And I thank you again, Tracy. And Carol in the background, we don't see her, but she's doing a marvelous job. Thank you.
Sure is. It takes a village, doesn't it?
It really does.
We love you, Bob. Good night.
Okay, good night.